To start this look, I'm taking 2 small pieces of Scotch tape and lining those up with my lower lash line and just pushing it onto my face. It's going to act as a barrier for the eyeshadow. I'm taking NYX eyelid primer in white and just spreading that all over my eye up to the brow bone. I'm only going to be using this BH Cosmetics palette, and I'm going to start off with the pink and purple in the center of the palette there. On a fluffy brush, I'm taking the pink and blending that into my upper crease. Just keep blending until it's even, and you want this to come pretty far up, but not all the way to the brow bone. Now on a flat shader brush, I'm taking the dark purple from the palette and putting that in the lower part of my crease and extending it out up against the tape and then filling in the outer V. Now I'm just going to keep packing on the color and pull that up and over across the crease towards the tear duct. With the same fluffy brush, I'm going to pick up a little bit more pink and start to blend out the color. I'm just using small circular motions to diffuse the color, and it might take a while to blend all this out, but that's okay because it really does need to have a really soft airbrush finish with no harsh lines. After putting a little bit of shimmery white in the tear duct and under my brow bone, I'm going to prime my eyelid for a light pink with the NYX Jumbo pencil in Milk, and just using my finger to dab that out. Back to the palette, I'm picking up a brighter pink, putting that on a flat shader brush, spraying it with Urban Decay All Nighter, and then patting it on top of the white Milk pen. The next layer is this shimmery pink cream eyeshadow from NYX, putting that right on top of the bright pink, and then I'm going to touch it up with a little bit more of the shadow. Go ahead and carefully remove the tape, and you can see how you're left with just a really nice clean line. This is a new foundation for me that I'm trying. It's from Rimmel. It's called Stay Matte, and it's a mousse foundation. The consistency is pretty thick, so I'm going to start out by just dabbing this onto my face and stippling it with this buffing brush, and then smooth it out with regular buffing motion. Taking MAC Pro Longwear Concealer and dabbing that underneath my eyes, on my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and on my Cupid's bow to highlight. And now blend out the concealer with a damp sponge. To add a little bit more pink to my highlight, I'm using MAC Prep and Prime in Radiant Rose. I'm going to blend that in with the beauty blender that I used for the concealer. Adding eyebrows real quick. I have a video on this if you need a more in-depth tutorial. I'm adding a little bit of this glitter liner to the tear duct just to bring a little bit of light back to that area. For contouring, I'm going to use this Graftobian Cream Foundation palette, taking a dark color and just laying that down underneath my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, and on my temples. I'm using the same foundation brush that I used for my actual foundation to buff out the contours. Just leaves you with a really nice soft shadow. To set the dark cream foundation, I'm using a contour kit from NYX and just laying that right on top of the color. Then I'm going to take a clean brush that is a blush brush from Real Techniques and use that to buff out the color. I'm using a felt tip liquid liner for my upper lash line. Go ahead and lay that on pretty heavy across the upper lashes and then extend it out along your eyeshadow to create a wing. And to darken the color, I'm using liquid liner from NYC. For my cheeks, I'm using this nice shimmery pink kind of coral color from NYX, and it's a cream blush, so I'm going to put that right on the apples of my cheeks and up my cheekbones. And then I'm going to go over it with a powder blush from MAC, and this is Peachy Keen, so it has a little bit of shimmer in it as well. With a waterproof eyeliner, I'm going to line my upper and lower waterline. With a small smudging brush, I'm taking the dark purple that I used on my eyelid and putting that on the outer half of my lower lash line. With this pencil brush, I'm picking up the pink that I used on the eyelid and using it to smoke out the dark purple and the rest of the lower lash line. I'm just setting my makeup with a translucent setting powder. And to bring back a little bit of shine, I'm using this Wet n Wild highlighter, just putting that on the high points of my face. So I'm using these falsies from Ardell. These are double stacked. I'm just going to go ahead and place that right on the upper lash line. Make sure it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to touch up the waterline because when I put on fake lashes, a lot of times my eyes will water. And I'm just using a waterproof mascara to blend my lashes in with the fake ones. And I'm using a fine tip applicator to get my lower lashes really nice and spidery. So this is one of my new favorite products. It's Wet n Wild's Mega Last Liquid Lip Color. But to use it, you're going to want to make sure that your lips are very nice and moisturized. And then apply the color on top with the wand. And don't overdo it because you're going to want this color to dry completely. So don't rub your lips together, don't stick your lips together, just apply the color and let them sit. I'm going to touch up underneath my eyes with this pressed powder, just using the Real Technique setting brush to do that. So now that the lip color is almost dry, you can see how little it really does transfer. And here's the finished look. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys like it, and don't forget to subscribe.